Well, here I am. I wasn't sure if we were going to bother with this bit, but I really thought, and I thought, yeah, let's cover it, and let's make it interesting because it isn't. So we're going to have a look at teleconferencing. If I can find the page. So page. Awesome. Levels of professionalism. So page 18, 19. Teleconferencing is talking on the telephone in a group. That's basically what it is. So if we look at page 18, talking on the telephone can be problematic. For one thing, we cannot use the expression on another person's face. This can cause messages to be misinterpreted. Misinterpretations can become a real problem if you are conversing with people you do not know in a more formal conversation. Let's just stop it there because this is never going to happen to you. This kind of technology is way out of date, which is why I was going to skip it. But then I thought it's interesting to look at it from a point of view of what went from the past to the way it's going to go into the future. Now, in the past, teleconferencing was literally a phone call where several people joined in at the same time and shared the discussion. And it didn't work. There's no two ways about it. It simply didn't work.
Trip Crosby
has joined the meeting.
Beth
has joined the meeting.
Hello?
Tyler?
No, this is Beth from ICS.
Oh, hey Beth. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Yeah. Just making it,
Tyler?
Has joined the meeting.
All right, well, this is Trip. Who's here?
Tyler's here.
Beth's here.
Okay, the purpose of today's meeting is to discuss the...
Yeah, I'll be able to do it in like 30 minutes. John?
Has joined the meeting.
Hi, John.
Hi.
I was just trying to go over the purpose of today's meeting, which is to discuss the
Tyler?
Has joined the meeting.
Sorry, guys, I got cut off. Is Paul here? Send him the invite.
Put in your access code.
No, that's your PIN number.
It should be a 9-digit number.
Try pressing the pound key.
Paul.
Has joined the meeting.
Any questions before we move on?
Yes, this is Beth. What's our best plan of attack for the second quarter?
Question
What
actually...
we should do... Oh,
Go ahead.
Oh, I think what we should do
It
is
actually
really
depends on
diversify.
how you look at it, because
and
the
really come...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I think
Given
what we-
sales,
what we
we're at a...
really- I
Let,
think
let me just say that...
Okay.
That's a great graph, John. Tyler?
Well, my main concern with the projections from last year was that they're just insufficient. I mean, they're not even taking into account...
Did we lose Tyler again?
Hello?
John, are you guys taking distributions? John?
Oh, my bad. I was on mute. Let me start over.
So I've prepared a presentation. I'm sharing it with all of you. You should be able to see it on your screen right now.
Got it.
I don't see a link anywhere.
It says I need to download a plugin.
We are all using Macs, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How can you?
Financials are looking great. Paul, do you have any comments on staffing?
I was thinking about that because we get a few more contractor types in. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Rex, get down!
I don't know. I feel like when I looked at the numbers last quarter, that you couldn't really tell a huge difference. So if we were to really tighten that up, then I...
To me, staffing is a huge impact.
What is that?
Is that me? Is that me?
It's not me, I don't think.
I just want to go over a couple of details as we move into our next section here. We got 3 new departments coming on board.
I'm breaking up a little bit, guys.
By the end of Q3.
Driving to
So
the dead
I need
spot.
everyone to give me detailed evaluations each
Sorry,
month
guys.
so that we know. That's it, guys. Beth, you'll send out a recap email that could have basically taken the place of this whole meeting, correct?
Yep, always do.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Beth. Dave, you been here the whole time? Yeah. Huh. Well, thanks everyone once again. Oh, one more
Most people sound very similar on the telephone. teleconferencing always used to have the same volume for everybody. So you can imagine no one can see when the other person is trying to speak because there is no image. So everybody would be talking at the same time, and then everyone would have to stop and wait for everybody else to catch up. But then of course everybody stopped, so there is no catching up. It just went round in this circle, and it was horrible. You could barely hear what was being said. Then you'd get people on mobile phones because teleconferencing was a burgeoning new technology and people wanted to show off. The boss wanted to come in on his mobile phone, which always sounded terrible. So he'd go, "Hi, you can everyone hear me?" And no one could hear him. And we'd all be going, yeah, we can hear you. And you couldn't. And then you just go and have a coffee. And all you'd do is you'd have these 10-minute meetings and then no one would listen to them. And he'd go, "Does everybody understand?" And you'd all go, oh yeah, we understand. And then later on, his secretary would send you an email telling you everything you were supposed to have talked about. You'd read it, it would take you 30 seconds and you'd go, yep, done. And that was why this was all essentially pointless. But the reason for it was efficiency. Now, the idea of running a business is to maximize profits while minimizing overheads. That's the rule to business. Cut down your costs and make as much money as possible. It's not rocket science. And when you have managers go into a meeting, you have to pay them to do it. So you have to give them a day's wages for them to go out and go to a physical meeting. You have to pay for their breakfasts, you have to pay for their lunches, you have to pay for them to travel by car or by train or whatever. Sometimes I've literally been on weekend conferences where they've had to pay us to go there, they've put us in a hotel, everything's paid for, and it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars, thousands in some cases, all to be told something that we could have read in an email in 2 minutes. And this happens a lot. So the idea was efficiency, cut down on these unnecessary meetings and cut down on face-to-face group gatherings so that we could also cut down on fuel. The idea was this was going to be environmentally friendly. Of course, it didn't work. The whole environmental thing is a load of nonsense anyway. These days, a modern car cleans the air. The catalytic converters these days are so good that the air being sucked into it is dirtier than the air coming out the back end of a car. We're literally cleaning the air as we drive through it. So it makes no sense to talk about environmental damage caused by meetings. But there are other inefficiencies connected. The money it costs to have a room full of highly paid managers doing nothing more than sitting in front of each other, listening to one another speak. It makes no sense. And we wanted to move away from it. Teleconferencing was a bit of a false start because we didn't have the technology in place ready to make this work. And that was what killed it. Now that hasn't happened in recent times because technology has moved along. We've now got very, very good communication technology. We've got mobile phones that have face-to-face FaceTime videos. We have all sorts of platforms where we can all get together into a meeting and it's fairly efficient. There's no point me discussing this any further because every single one of you is an expert on it. As you know, it all kicked off a couple of years ago when the new flu panic started. Everybody around the world has gone crazy about this. They've shut down schools. We've all now had to learn online. It's had huge repercussions all around the world. This is going to be a defining moment in your generation. This is a moment in the history books. This is going to be up there with a world war. This will be remembered as one of the darkest times for humanity. This is us living through a defining moment in human history.
I don't like it.
So this kind of communication is now probably here to stay. But we need to drive it down to the point where it's a tool in our toolbox rather than the only or even the first thing we go to. I'm sure you understand when I say that this is becoming not just the normal for business, it's becoming the normal for school and even for social interaction.
Jesus Christ. What did y'all think of the movie?
What movie?
The movie we watched.
It's gonna be a rough episode, man.
Yeah, this is going great.
Well, C+.
And that isn't healthy. We need to get back to the idea of talking face to face because we're reaching a point where we have to ask ourselves, why even bother? Why even bother with this? Because I am not a machine built to do a job. I am not a machine that goes to work so that I can create profit for a company. That's not my job. My job is to be a human being and have a life. The job I do here is meant to support me doing that. When it stops being fun, when it stops being rewarding, when it stops being something that I want to do, what's the point in me doing it? What is the point of the whole world of however many billions of people, is it 7 or 8 billion people now? What is the point of them all being locked down, worrying about what we're going to do tomorrow, dreading going to work the next morning, dreading being told another disaster's happening? What's the point of living like this?
That's depressing.
This is not going to continue, but in the short term, we are stuck with this. Now, what is the future of teleconferencing the way it goes now? Well, it ain't great. You hear about security. They're going to increase security measures. Well, what do we mean by security online? We talk about hackers. Now, you've all seen movies about hackers where they type a quick code in and bang, they're into your computer. They're stealing your information. They're changing this. They're breaking into that. They know all your secrets. Have you ever heard of anyone who either hacks or has been hacked? And I know the answer, no. No. One single one of you out there knows somebody whose information has been hacked. You may know somebody that's had their money stolen from a bank account. That's fairly common. I once had a phone call. I was working in London. My bank phoned me up and said, "Hi, where are you?" I said, "I'm at work." "Why?" I said, "Where's work?" I said, "South East London." "Why?" "So you're not in Canada?" I said, "No, I'm not in Canada." "Why do you ask?" I said, "Well, somebody just tried to access your bank account from Canada. Someone's obviously cloned your details. We've blocked it. There's no further cause for concern." That kind of stuff happens all the time. People try their luck. Sometimes they get lucky. The bank always refunds the money. It's not a big deal. That's not a hacker. A hacker's meant to be like creeping in through the government access computer base, finding out all your secrets, releasing them to the world. Never happens. We're not worried about hackers, not in the real world. What really happens is large tech corporations stealing your information. That's what security really is. And unfortunately, the truth is, we live in a world now where there is no privacy and no security. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm running a YouTube video right now. Now, if you look down, you'll see closed captions. Now, these are coming up in real time. So the computer is literally listening to my words and it's replacing them at the bottom of the screen with text. That means that the computer knows every single thing I'm saying. And that's an advert for you to be careful, because it means that every one of these things is listening to you all the time. It's not a secret. This is how they work. Facebook, you're a product. You're not paying for the service, therefore you are the product. Facebook listens to you, watches you, does everything that you, knows everything that you do, and it sells that information to other companies. And we're getting to a point where there aren't that many other companies left, and they all share the information to market crap to you, to find out what you're doing, what you're thinking, and they regulate all of this information. And that is the real danger to our security and to our safety. That is not going away, because these tech companies they've become so big that they are lobbying the American government, and they're actually in control of the government. We have these things controlled by a group of billionaires who can't be trusted, who are now in control of all the information around the world.
We have no freedom, Kara.
And this has been coming for a long time. Certain people warned about it. I mean, there's been warnings for thousands of years. Sun Tzu, The Art of War, warned about just this kind of information being stolen from you. That was 3,000 years ago. We had 1984, written back in the 30s, I think it was, a book about government taking over, taking control through electronic means, watching everything. Thought police, you're not allowed to think the wrong thing. We have computers now analysing to work out what it is that you're thinking and selling those ideas back to you if they can't get rid of them for you. Dangerous times. This is going to get bigger. All the large platforms are likely to produce their own kind of communication system so that you do it for them.
This can't be true. It can't be.
I mean, Google Meet is free, right? We're all using Google Meet. No one's paying for it. We're all in here having this conference call completely free. Don't go thinking that Google, who makes billions of dollars every year, is doing this out of the goodness of their heart. This is all a plan. This is a plan to make a lot of money. Because the 8 or 9 billionaires that run the world, they all doubled their money in the last 2 years. They all got very rich. This is all making them a lot of money. Advertising, keeping you onto their websites, away from other people's websites.
Sounds like a big scam.
That's where we're going, and that's what this technology is leading us to. So be very careful about letting it go. Because you guys don't think about this. You don't think about the past and what teleconferencing started out as and what it means today, because you've never seen it grow up. You've never seen this technology develop and evolve the way I have. And it is extremely dangerous. But what's really dangerous is no one's telling you to be careful of it. Who would? So that's the future of teleconferencing. So we're going to have a look at a website that talks about the way things are likely to change. There's a document in Google Classroom that you can read through, and then there's going to be a comprehension exercise which will stand as this first quiz. So be careful to fill that in and make sure you get all the answers right. So to keep things nice and simple, I'm going to read you the text off the website. All you need to do is follow along, and then I'm going to give you an assignment. So 5 video conferencing trends to watch in 2020. In just the last decade, we've seen video conferencing technology make tremendous strides in the workplace. As remote work grew 159% between 2005 and 17, video conferencing came along for the ride, with an estimated 58% of business now using video conferencing for their everyday operations. And as organizations around the world increasingly embrace distributed workforces, that momentum is only going to continue. What can we expect to see this year in terms of video conferencing innovations? Here are some trends to look out for. User experience will be a key focus for video meetings. Tools like FaceTime and WhatsApp are some of the most widely used video calling tools in the consumer market today. What makes them popular? They're easy to use. Just one tap of a button and you're connected to people anywhere in the world. This focus on the user experience is trickling into the professional world. Organizations and their employees are going to move forward towards video conferencing solutions that offer the best user experience. For example, if you had to spend several minutes digging through your emails or team messages app for a quick meeting, for a meeting ID and possibly password, you'd be more than frustrated. Meetings should be quick to prepare for and effortless to join. Should they? Should there not be some kind of effort involved in being able to do your job? When it comes to video, organization will move forward towards solutions that make video conferencing as easy as starting a FaceTime call and as feature-rich as a professional meeting. Feature-rich? Have you ever been to a professional meeting? They're usually terrible. Browser-based video solutions like RingCentral, which is obviously what they're trying to sell you, allow users to join meeting with colleagues and customers with just the click of a link. No need to download and maintain apps or set up any meeting IDs. Everything lives in browsers, so users can jump straight into the conversation. Well, we talked about barriers to entry. I mean, this is dumbing things down to the nth degree. I mean, if you can't operate this, do you need to be in the business sector? And that's what we need to face. Video quality will be critically important. Why? As distributed workforces and video conferencing continues to grow in the enterprise, that makes no sense. Having video quality that's just good enough isn't going to cut it. Why not? Employees, especially remote workers, need to connect with their colleagues and customers in a way that replicates in-person interactions. Video quality is key to achieving that. I would very strongly argue against that. As somebody that actually works sometimes on YouTube, people don't care. People really, really don't care about quality and professionalism as much as content. And I've found that everywhere I go. Content is what's important. The quality of what you're saying is much more important than the medium you use to say it. You'd be surprised how many people are smart enough to realize that. Going forwards, HD video and audio will become the standard for video conferencing. We might also begin to see initial testing of UHD, ultra high definition 4K video meetings, as computers and mobile displays as well as internet performance are starting to support that resolution. Very strong negative to that is that we're pushing towards 5G, which, in case you didn't know, is extremely dangerous to human beings. Video meetings will see more integration with productivity tools. With the average business meeting running about an hour, the cost of ineffective meetings to an organization can add up very quickly. In addition to the financial costs, $37 billion in the US alone, don't know how they're working that out because it doesn't tell us. A recent survey showed show us the proof of this, that they don't do that, showed that poorly organized meetings can lead to consequences like lost time, confusion, loss of focus, slow progress, and even weaker client-supply relationships. Of course it can. While there are many non-technical ways employers can improve their productivity of their meetings, like setting clear objectives and having an agenda, we will likely see more video meeting solutions offer integrations with productivity tools to help their users do more in less time. For instance, features like transcription, video clippings, file sharing, translation, and integration with productivity apps can help users quickly and efficiently share knowledge and kickstart ideas produced in video meetings into action. So in other words, all the things that Google Meet already has. Video meetings will have enhanced security and privacy features. Of course it will. While privacy and security are top priorities for any organization, not Google and certainly not Microsoft, as video conferencing increases in popularity and we start to see widespread adoption in industries like healthcare or law, we will likely see more solutions offering innovative ways to protect their users' data and communications against fraud and abuse. For example, RingCentral provides transport layer security TLS and secure real-time transport protocol encryption between all endpoints to prevent interception. Interception isn't the problem. We will offer other security features like firewalls and session border controllers, multiple authentication levels, intrusion detection systems, and fraud analytics, monitoring, system hardening, and vulnerability scans. But what you won't do is have them controlled by companies that can be trusted in the first place. Oh, this one. Gamification will be incorporated into video meetings. Gamification is the process of incorporating game design elements like activities, points, badges, and rewards into non-game context. It's been growing in popularity over the past few years, and we can definitely see more companies implementing gamification into their video meetings to help boost employee engagement and drive productivity. Employers could divide their employees into small groups and then have them collaborate on an activity virtually in a video meeting by using screen sharing and anoting features. They could also implement a system where employees earn points for attendance or being the first person to check into a meeting. These are things that we have in the lives of dogs. We're literally talking about dumbing people down to the point of being treated like animals, which personally I have a bit of a problem with. The future of meetings. One prediction we can all agree on is that video conferencing will continue to transform the global workforce. As remote work grows and more meetings are held online, video communication will be a huge focus for organizations going forwards. Make sure your organization is ready to adapt. Want to learn more? No, not particularly. Well, there you go. That's what this website thinks. Now, obviously that was copied on Google Classroom, so you've got a copy of that yourselves. So use that to go through and check the answers to the questions. Good luck.